Most people think they are poor because they do not earn enough. But that is not the full story. The truth is far more uncomfortable. There are people making six figures who are completely broke. And there are people earning $40,000 a year, quietly building real wealth. The difference has almost nothing to do with income. It has everything to do with what is happening inside your head. And the worst part? The thinking patterns keeping you poor feel completely normal. They feel like common sense. That is exactly why they are so dangerous. Here is a number that should stop you cold. According to a study from the National Endowment for Financial Education, nearly 70% of lottery winners end up broke within a few years of their windfall. People who went from nothing to millions and then back to nothing. How does that happen? How do you take $1 million and lose it? The answer is not stupidity. It is not bad luck. It is psychology. The United States is one of the wealthiest nations in human history. The average American has access to more financial tools, more investment platforms, more educational content than any generation before them. And yet, as of 2024, more than half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Not because the money is not there, because the mindset was never built to hold it. The school system teaches you algebra. It teaches you the causes of World War I. But it never teaches you how money actually works. It never teaches you what your brain does when it comes into contact with money. And that gap, that deliberate silence, has cost ordinary Americans trillions of dollars across generations. This is not about discipline. This is not about working harder. This is about understanding the invisible software running in your mind and why it was never designed for wealth. Let us start with the most dangerous psychological trap of all, the identity trap. Most people do not think of themselves as wealthy. They grew up in households where money was always tight, where the phrase, "we cannot afford that," was the background music of childhood. And over time, that environment did not just shape their bank account. It shaped their identity. They became someone who struggles with money. And here is the brutal truth about identity. We unconsciously make decisions that confirm who we believe we are. This is called self-concept theory, and it is well documented in behavioral psychology. If deep down you see yourself as a person who is bad with money, every financial decision you make will quietly reinforce that story. You will spend the bonus. You will avoid looking at your bank account. You will tell yourself investing is for rich people, not for someone like you. Then there is what psychologists call lifestyle inflation. This one is particularly ruthless in America because the culture weaponizes it constantly. You get a raise. Instead of banking the difference, you get a nicer apartment, a newer car, more subscriptions, better clothes. The spending expands to match the income, and nothing changes. You are running faster, but staying in the same place. The advertising industry understood this decades ago. The entire machine is built around one simple idea: make people feel inadequate, then sell them the solution. Every billboard, every Instagram ad, every Netflix show filled with aspirational homes and cars, it is all engineering a feeling of lack. And when you feel lack, you spend, not to build wealth, to feel normal, to feel like you belong. This is not weakness. This is a multi-billion-dollar psychological operation running against you every single day. Now add to this something called hyperbolic discounting. Studies show that the human brain is hardwired to value immediate rewards far more than future ones. If someone offers you $50 today or $100 in 6 months, most people take the $50. The future feels abstract. It feels uncertain. Today feels real. And this one cognitive bias alone is responsible for a staggering amount of financial destruction. It is why people cash out retirement accounts early and pay the penalties. It is why credit card debt spirals, why the savings account stays empty. The future version of you does not feel real enough to protect. Now here is where it gets darker. These psychological patterns do not exist in a vacuum. They are, in many ways, features of the economic system, not bugs. Think about the credit industry. The entire model depends on people spending money they do not have, on things they do not need, to feel something they cannot sustain. The average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt. And credit card companies are not accidentally designing confusing terms or burying the real interest cost in fine print. They understand behavioral psychology better than most therapists do. They know that minimum payment framing makes debt feel manageable. They know that contactless payments reduce the psychological pain of spending. Every friction removed from spending is a deliberate design choice. Then there is the status game. America is a society deeply structured around visible wealth. The car you drive, the neighborhood you live in, the watch on your wrist. These are not just purchases. They are social signals. And for many people, especially those who grew up with very little, these signals carry enormous emotional weight. Buying a luxury item is not irrational. It is deeply human. It is the desire to be seen, to be respected, to prove something. But the system knows this, and it monetizes that desire with extraordinary precision. Generational poverty adds another layer entirely. Research shows that children who grow up in financially stressed households develop different relationships with risk, with planning, and with financial institutions. Scarcity thinking, the constant mental focus on what you do not have, consumes cognitive bandwidth. It makes long-term planning harder. It makes impulsive decisions more likely. And it gets passed down, not through genetics, but through behavior, through conversation, through what is normalized at the dinner table. So what do you actually do with this? The first and most important shift is this: separate your identity from your financial past. You are not your credit score. You are not the habits your parents modeled. You are not the version of yourself who made bad decisions at 22. Identity is not fixed. It is a story, and stories can be rewritten. Start building a new one deliberately. Read about people who built wealth from nothing. Study the decisions, not just the outcomes. Let new evidence reshape what you believe is possible for someone like you. Second, make the future feel real. This is why financial advisors tell you to give your goals a name, a face, a date. The more specific and vivid your future self is, the harder it becomes to sacrifice that person for immediate comfort. Write it down. Put a number on it. Make it concrete enough to compete with today's impulses. Third, understand that environment is more powerful than willpower. You will not outdiscipline a culture designed to drain your account. So change the environment. Automate your savings so the decision is never left to willpower. Remove the shopping apps. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel inadequate. Create distance between impulse and action. Even 48 hours of waiting before a non-essential purchase eliminates the majority of impulse buying. And finally, start learning the language of money. Not investing tips, not stock picks. The fundamental logic of how money moves, how assets work, how compounding operates over time. Because once you understand the actual mechanics, the system loses much of its power over you. Knowledge does not just inform decisions. It changes what feels normal. Here is the thought I want to leave you with. The version of you that stays poor and the version of you that builds real wealth, they are often not separated by opportunity. They are separated by a set of beliefs so deeply embedded that they do not even feel like beliefs. They feel like reality. The system did not fail you. In many ways, it worked exactly as designed. The question is whether you are willing to look at that clearly and build something different anyway. Wealth, at its core, is not about money. It is about thinking in a way that money can follow. And that is something no one else can do for you. But it is absolutely something you can learn.